The On3 adventure truck, friends, has suffered a slight casualty. Believe it or not, this is not supposed to look like this. It's not supposed to be S-shaped like that. This push rod here has experienced a slight setback. So I'm hopeful that I can replace the push rod and get the thing back operational. What caused it to do that is the real question. I think we had an injector failure. So I've got another injector, gonna swap this out, new injector, see if that fixes our problem. I hope, cross your fingers, that I didn't cause some sort of catastrophic failure to the engine here, because that would be devastating. So my issue here is I've got far too much invested into this truck here. Not just money, of course, but my time. I mean, I spent a year, all of my free time, which is extremely valuable to me, working on this truck, getting it to the position where it's at now. Well, before it broke down, obviously, to becoming the ultimate adventure vehicle. You know, I've taken the family cross country in this thing, which was awesome. We camped out in the back. We never stayed in a hotel or a campground for 4 weeks. We just adventured anywhere and everywhere, you know, name it. We camped out in the middle of the desert, these beautiful cliffs, you know, in Colorado. One of the coolest camping experiences I've ever had. You know, we were parked out on this bluff, or whatever you'd call it. It kind of looked like this, you know, like these fingers and these cliffs like jetting off of the end of each finger, you know. And I was able to drive out onto the end of one of those fingers and park right on the edge of it and camp out with the family. And we had this really light rainstorm that came through. And then as soon as that rainstorm, the sun was setting. It was like right on the horizon. And as soon as that rainstorm was kind of over, these amazing, beautiful, like rainbow came out and like blanketed the truck. Like it was perfectly symmetrically placed over the vehicle. It was just crazy, and the picture doesn't even do it justice. It was such a cool experience. And anyway, having this vehicle was what allowed us to be able to do something like that on a budget, because I burned vegetable oil. I drove cross country and back essentially and burned very little diesel fuel, very little. So it didn't cost me a whole lot of money, and that was amazing. And it had enough room for us to camp out inside the vehicle and not have to, you know, set up tents and all that kind of stuff. For all of those reasons, the memories that I've already got in it, the time, the energy that I've invested in this vehicle, I can't let it go. I mean, even if the engine was shot, like blown, catastrophic, I would look into rebuilding it, replacing it, figuring it out, because I just can't, you know. Now, is that my stubbornness, my pride, you know, causing me to do something foolish? You know, am I beating a dead horse, perhaps? Let's hope not. You know, I hope not. Hope that's not the situation. I hope that I can get this thing going without too much trouble. But only time's gonna tell. Now the question is, obviously I'm going to use the straight one here. That's not the question. When did the term straight, you know how gay means gay, crooked means crooked, but straight means straight and straight. When did that happen? You know, why is it not straight and crooked as opposed to straight and gay? I'd like to know where that happened. Back to before I got distracted. The question is, which way does it go? I do not know. This hole is smaller than that one, so I don't know which end is up. I might have to Google that one, see what's going on, figure out which way that's supposed to go back. I'm not the most competent mechanic in the world, and I'm learning a lot of this as I go. But what's happening here is my push rod is a little high, so I think I've got to turn the engine over to get it to rotate, to get it to lower down, so I can get that rocker arm sitting back on there, I think. Having the right tool is crucial. Sometimes the difference between getting the job done and completely botching it is just having the one thing, the one tool. Hopefully I can get this on there, because removing this fan is a drag. Turning the engine over here, and oil is just spraying out of there, which is fantastic, making a giant mess. It's not annoying at all, not even a little. Totally cool. So what I'm trying to do is get that push rod right here to go down lower, so I can get this rocker arm to seat on there, because if I tried to tighten it up now, it would just bend my push rod again, and we don't want that. The glow plug. I guess money being no option, it'd be so much easier just to go out and buy a new truck, you know. Something that most likely is not going to need any work on it in the near future. And that is tempting. For sure. But I wouldn't have what I have here, you know. I wouldn't have something that I can actually work on myself. You know, the new vehicles are just next to impossible, a lot of them at least, to work on. And while I am definitely no mechanical expert of a 7.3 liter Power Stroke diesel, I'm getting a little bit better with each problem that occurs, which glass half full, you know. I could look at this as a woe is me problem, like, oh, and that, trust me, that's gone through my head, you know. Woe is me, poor me, and my broke down truck, you know. The OTAT's very sad at the moment, but I could also look at it as an opportunity to learn more about the internal combustion engine, which I think is a win, as long as I try to see the glass as half full. Another question I have, you know, where did the expression get bent, you know, like when you're pissed at somebody, you say, hey, go get bent. What does that mean exactly, you know? Bent push rod is bad. Or is it like saying straight and gay? Like is bent another way of saying gay? I don't know. I mean, that would make sense, but I don't know. These are the questions I have. Ow, knuckles. You checking on progress, girl? Come on. Come on. Oh, Maggie, come here, girl. Come on. That's a good girl. Maggie's been enjoying freedom for the past several days, about a week, I guess. Her fence hasn't been working. Various reasons. Battery's dead on her collar. We had a range day. We shot her wire, the wire that runs the perimeter of the property. Her boundary, we shot that in two, probably more than once if I had to guess. And she's been freely roaming. She knows when the fence isn't working. Just like the T-Rex in Jurassic Park. They know. Clever, clever girl she is. Everything seems to be moving properly so far by turning it by hand. I haven't seen any issues. Well, there's a stopping point for the day, guys. The kids got home. It's date night for me and the wife, which I think takes priority over fixing the OTAT. I'd like to see it running today, but got to stop here and stay tuned. Future video, I'll crank it up and say a prayer that it just fires right up and we don't have any issues. Thanks for watching, friends. Thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Links in the description of ways you can help support the channel and help keep the beast here rolling, and I'd be really grateful for that. Each and every contribution is very much appreciated. Until next time, what's the worst that could happen? Let's just go on 3.